Welcome back, everybody, to the Insightful Podcast. We gain insight in order to move forward in life. Today, we're joined by a special guest, Toitan. Toitan, how you doing today?
I'm right. How you doing?
Good, good. Excited for this one. Toitan's competing this weekend, so it means a lot for him to come on and do the podcast because he might be a little tired and stuff. But let's just jump straight into it. So, can you introduce yourself to the audience to kind of explain who you are and what you do?
My name's Toitan Ekundayo. I'm a natural bodybuilder here in the UK. In bodybuilding now for like 2, 3 years in terms of like specific bodybuilding training. I've been training for 5 years, and it's kind of just become my whole passion. Like every day I wake up and it's like all I can think about. So yeah, that's me.
So I guess why did you start bodybuilding in the first place, and how did that kind of transition into social media as well?
Bodybuilding in the first place, I was posting on social media before I ever decided to seriously take bodybuilding as like an avenue of competing. But I'll say with bodybuilding is that I was in the gym actually, one of like a local gym, and I was training with some friends, and a guy that was a coach like had seen my physique already, and he offered to like spot me through a set of hack squat. I'll never forget it. Like I thought I was finished. I was like, I'm done. I'm tapping out. He just kept going, five more, five more, five more. Literally, and that was the first time. That was the first time I've ever thrown up like after a set of like any exercise, and I was like,
Damn.
holy shit. Like it just like rocked my mind. I was like, what the hell is this? So I started training with him more often, and I guess that's why I got like really big legs. Like I just for like those kind of like early years of my training, I was going ham on legs. Training with him and a bunch of people in my area at the time kind of just gave me that camaraderie of
Mm.
bodybuilding. Especially because the whole reason I'd even got into the gym is because it gave me the opportunity to spend a lot more time with my friends, and it gave me something productive to do in my life. Yeah, whilst training with those people at the gym, gave me that camaraderie that like it really like motivated me to keep showing up. And then from there, they suggested that like because they would always talk about like competitors. Like I remember one year they were talking about Keon moving to 212. I didn't know I didn't know who Keon was, and I didn't know what 212 was, but I was there like yeah, no, he's gonna do great. I had no idea. But that kind of sparked the interest to do more research because at the time I knew of like CBUM and like the more like mainstream kind of idea, but then started doing my own research into bodybuilding and my passion, because through that time I already had a passion for like the posing aspect of it. Like I'd seen pictures of Frank Zane, I'm seeing pictures of like Bob Paris, Leela Brado, etc. And I'm like, I really like these poses. So I'll be trying to do all types of posing routines, all types of posing in my room, at the gym. Literally, I'll be thinking about it when I'm walking anywhere, everywhere. On my way to college, I'll be thinking about it. So then when they said to me that, oh yeah, you have great genes, I don't see why you wouldn't. It then became a plan of action to then compete by the time I was done with my teenage years, which I ended up doing 2 years ago. So yeah, that's kind of how I've gone into bodybuilding.
Nice, bro. So it's kind of like the obsession was like there immediately. And what I like about your story is kind of different from others is like a lot of times people find bodybuilding in like a lonely time in their life, whereas you found it like with other people and like a community. Would you say that was like important to you?
I would say so. I found the gym in what could have been a very lonely point in my life coming out of COVID after my mother passed away prior to COVID. Going to the gym gave me the opportunity to be sociable, keep the connections of my close friendship groups, which mean the world to me. So it was like a natural development, I'll say, that because I like embracing my support system and my circle around me. So if it meant that, oh, I have a circle around me here that bodybuild and they go gym and they do this and that, that's where I want to be. That's who I want to be around. So that's the that'd be the way I would describe it.
Yeah, it makes sense for sure. So for my next question is how has like I guess you competing in shows and you kind of like developing your physique, how has that changed your mindset over time? Like how were you before all of this compared to now? Like what noticeable difference do you see in yourself?
I'll say I've always been a very like driven person when it comes to like being specific about the actions I want to take. Like when I'm motivated and when I want to do something, like I have an idea in my mind. Like I used to be, I think actually I wouldn't say used to be. I've focused a lot of my life with like academics, and when I was younger, I would go really hard with like studying and making sure I was up to date with all of my revision, making sure everything was on track. And I feel like that transferred over into the obsession of training. But then with bodybuilding, it's become a whole new level of really honing in like the more tedious small bits, like everything when it comes down to making sure I get my steps in, sleep, or like even like with like food, for example. Like I'll take the stairs if I know I need 10k steps and I need 50 more steps. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go take the stairs, not the elevator, that kind of idea. So
Yeah.
I'll say really like it's really made me more tunnel visioned in my specific like area of niche interests. Yeah.
I see what you mean. So it's like you kind of have the ability to get obsessed with something, but it's only something you care about. Like you'll put your whole like life into
Absolutely.
it if
Yeah.
it's something you care about. Yeah.
On the same note, it's even interests or hobbies I had prior to I'm able to also, and I want to also find more value in them. Like I because I've been able to realize so much potential in myself and so much joy and passion from pursuing this, I don't shy away as much to expressing what I love, what I like to do, or actually like chasing things that I like. Like I've started like collecting a bunch of things that are just personal to me. Where prior to I would have just been like, oh, that's interesting, that's cool, and moved on with my life. But now I know the value that truly just expressing and being in what you love can bring. That like I like to pursue that.
I see. So you've kind of become more intentional with like every single aspect of your life.
Yeah. Well, the aspects that that light passion in me, if that makes sense. Things that excite me, that bring me passion. I become a lot more intentional in pursuing them.
Would you say that's important for most people that maybe don't have a purpose in life, is kind of like being intentional with what they do more often and not just kind of going through the motion of everything?
Absolutely. I feel like especially when you're younger. I mean, it's easy to say because I'm still young, so I can't really give this kind of perspective. But I feel like just kind of passing through life and just doing what you're being told you need to do. What's the next step for you need to take? Or just like following the pathway that's kind of led for you without fully like taking in time to appreciate other avenues that you yourself specifically could take if that's what will bring you passion. I feel like just following that path is never really the right way to go.
I see. So would you say you've kind of developed the skill to be present in everything you're doing? Like let's say going into this show this weekend, you're going to like tell yourself I'm going to be present in the moment, enjoy the moment and not think too much about the future.
Yeah, that's something that I've been telling myself I need to do with this show and this season specifically. Because as much as I enjoyed competing 2 years ago, when I actually like think back on it, there's only really one memory I have on stage because the rest of the time I was literally in my head like holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, like just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. But this time and like in general with life now, I'm trying to be a lot more intentional and present in terms of like what I'm doing, where and like why, like where I am, just like presently in the moment.
For sure. Do you know who Fuad Abiad is?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I watch his podcast and he always speaks about that, how like most of his bodybuilding career, he was like always in his head most of the time. And how because of that his whole career is like kind of a blur and he only
yeah,
remembers like certain moments. So I think
yeah,
that's super important, like even if it's not bodybuilding, even if it's just life in general, like when you're having a good time and you're experiencing the thing you want to experience, you kind of need to always tell yourself like stay present, because when you focus on the next task or the next thing at hand, you always forget like how valuable that moment was.
yeah, absolutely. Like even with like posing routines, one of my biggest issues with posing is that I tend to just like I bounce through my posing very quickly without really giving it much time to really sink into the posing, and that's something that I'm gonna. And it adds to the idea of like being present in that pose, like making sure everyone can really take in what you're trying to display before moving on to the next. But
For
I really
sure.
think that's going to be important.
So what would you say, I guess, is maybe the hardest part about bodybuilding that most people don't speak about? Like besides the diet and maybe the stress that comes with competing, what is something that maybe you personally have experienced that maybe someone watching this might not know?
Because I personally, I find dieting, like doing the cardio, eating, I find that all relatively easy. Same with the training, because they're all things I enjoy to do because I know the outcome. But I feel like Probably the hardest part is the personal expectation part of it, for me
Mm,
anyway. Like everyone knows and talks about body dysmorphia, but like on a day-to-day basis, your mind will go through like tons of different stages as to where you believe you are, like fluctuating between thinking, yeah, you're ready, this is perfect, this is like you've nailed it, to waking up the next day and thinking you fucked it all up, it's all screwed up. And then you start to believe that you need to work more or work less or do this or do that because you've made an expectation in your mind as to what you believe you should present on that stage. And I feel
yeah.
like that's definitely the hardest bit to come to grasp with, that sometimes you are fine, you're doing okay, you're on pace, you're on track. And that's something that I struggle with a lot, but getting better at handling and understanding that sometimes it's okay to feel like you're in a million pieces at once, but you have to be able to just trust your head to keep it straight and move forward.
Yeah. So it's more like you'll try to tell yourself just to follow the plan and not get caught up in what's
Yeah,
going on in between your ears.
yeah, like when I did my first show, like I said, with being like super tedious and monotonous about hopping onto things, I would overwork. Like my coach would tell me to do 30 minutes of cardio 5 times a week and only do 10K steps. But I'm in the back of my mind, I'll be like, he doesn't see what you're seeing right now. You need to work
Mm,
harder. You need to do 20,000 steps. You need to do an hour of cardio. You need to do this. You need to don't eat that. And then as a result, I worked my physique, and I was not as good as I should have been. And yeah, that's something I've learned to stray away from.
I see. So it's kind of like you're the opposite for maybe like most people. Like most people will try to like sell themselves short and do like less because they don't want to put in the extra amount of work, but you're kind of like the opposite of that where you think you're not good enough, so you just do more work than you're supposed to, and then it kind of ends up like self-sabotaging as well.
Yeah, that's something I used to fall into. Now it's a lot more where I'll just literally just trust, a lot more trust in my coach and in myself as to where I am.
I see. Do you do a lot of reflecting like after a show and kind of like focus on like what you could have done better, what you did really well to bring into the next show?
Yeah, actually, let me show you something. When it comes down to reflection, I logbook. So like I logbook
Mm,
every single one of my sessions. I've been logbooking every session from one to I think this is the sixth one. And just it I wouldn't even say I do it after every show, but it will literally be every day. Like after every session, like I'll write notes about how the session went, where my mind stays at the end of the week, talk about the goals for the next week, etc. That really helps keep me centered in terms of like what my plan is moving forward. So yeah,
see, so it's more just like a daily kind of reflection in a sense where you're reflecting constantly and then you're able to look back on everything.
absolutely.
When did you start doing that? Like when you started competing, or was this even before you were competing?
I started logbooking from as soon as I thought to myself and made the decision to compete. So I have it like logged from 2022.
Nice. Yeah, that's really good to look back on, right? Because you could see all the progress you've kind of made.
Yeah, it's kind of my goal to like by the time I'm done with bodybuilding to have like a whole like collection of them. Go through it. That'll be sick.
Yeah, I have like a library of logbooks
Yeah,
for sure. So my next question for you, bro, is what is something that you wish you would have done differently when you started this whole bodybuilding journey?
I would have invested in myself more in terms of my diet. Like I used to be the kind of person that would think is any calories, no matter what, adds to my total goal. And like so I'd buy these weight gainer shakes, throw in like Oreos, peanut butter, even oil just to get calories in. And while yes, calories are calories, there's a difference in terms of the amount you're able to reap, like the benefit from those calories and perform well in the gym as a result of it. And I've really noticed that this off season, because this off season is the only real off season where I've like actually eaten properly the majority of the time in terms of like proper nutrition and focusing on nutritional timing, all these kind of minute details that kind of would benefit myself. So if I could go back, it would be to just be like, bro, just put the weight gainer shake down and pick up some chicken breast or buy some more sweet potato or something like that. That would be
Yeah.
what, yeah.
Would you say that most people get it like kind of confused on what you need to do and like the process is more simple? It's just more like executing it that's hard?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people know the answer. They know they know what the truth is, but it's easier to cop out. It's easier
Yes.
to be like, no, I'm not gonna eat chicken and rice with broccoli, even though it's like a meme. I'm not gonna do this and that. I'm gonna go and eat like 15 donuts, whatever.
Yeah,
Just because it's a cop out and it's easy, and it gives you an excuse when things don't go right eventually to be like, oh well, it's actually it was this or that, but you knew in your heart of hearts what needs to be done.
for sure. So what was, I guess, like not even just with bodybuilding, I guess overall in your life, what was like a limiting mindset you had to overcome to become the person you are today?
That it's not going to be me. Like the idea that why post on social media or why continue to show up, why register for this show, it couldn't possibly be me that's going to win, or like it couldn't possibly be me that's going to have opportunities come my way, kind of thing. Just like a defeatist idea that even if and when things do work out and work well, inevitably they will come downhill. And that's kind of a mindset that I'm still unlearning in order to like have faith in myself that I'm just as capable as the next person doing the exact same thing. And it's just a matter of working harder or doing
I
the right
see
work.
I see what you mean. So you've dealt with a lot of I guess self-doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's honestly crazy when I think about it because I think most people struggle with that. You know, they struggle with like you're saying, comparing yourself to others and being like, that can never be me, so I'm not even gonna try in the first place. But then it's like, imagine if you never like put yourself out there, you never competed or never like posted on social media, like, you know, you would have never been here today. So it's crazy to look at like what could have happened.
Yeah. And it's like somebody has to do it. There has to be somebody that wins that show. There has to be
Yes.
somebody that changes the game in this way, or there has to be somebody that sets this new standard. So it's like there's no reason there can't be you.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with that. It's even like, for example, people like social media, people won't post or whatever because they'll be like, it's too saturated. Like, you know, people will say fitness content's too saturated, but why is it like every month there's like another couple people going super viral in the fitness industry? And even if you're not going super viral, there's a bunch of people constantly growing their pages. So I think the whole concept of that too, like even oversaturation in something, it's not true, you know?
And even when it comes to oversaturation, even if it is the case that the fitness space might be oversaturated, at a certain point, if you keep posting, because I've been posting for a while now, and my account's only really starting to do better. But all the while through, I'd get messages from people that really personally resonated with me, that kind of shifted my perspective on why I'm even posting in the first place. Because when I had started my account in the first place, like I was inspired by like the Alex Eubanks of the world, where I'm like, yo, I need to get like tons of followers and like tons of money, da da da. But as you go on, there's people that will message you saying they feel represented by your presence. That's something that's given me a lot of like self worth and value in myself when I wake up, to understand that there is someone out there that it genuinely, not even in like a cynical, no, not cynical, in like a self-absorbed way, but there is someone out there that is happy to see that you're still doing your thing every day, you know, and that can, and even if it's not that specific inspiration for you or someone else, eventually throughout your journey, you will have some sort of like shift in conscious as to what the purpose is with posting consistently or training consistently, because it might not be the goal that you start off with at the start, but you will find other passions and like reasons to keep going throughout, keep watching, keep posting, showing up.
Yeah, I think that's why most people quit in the first place is because they focus too much on the numbers and like the stats.
Mm.
And when, you know, you go through periods where that's not changing or it's not getting better, so then you end up quitting. But it's like, I like what you're saying. If you kind of focus more on like the effect you're having, even if it's only a couple people, that will keep you going, right?
100%.
Do you think your passion and your purpose for bodybuilding and I guess inspiring others go hand in hand?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with my posing, because I remember when I started with posing and stuff, the feeling I would get when I'd like be trying to learn new routines, or even when I would be watching routines from past grades. I've had messages and people talk to me about like feeling inspired or asking for tips in their posing for those specific kind of ideas. And that kind of like concept that I can even in the smallest part be a part of replicating that feeling that I felt when I was younger, is that means a lot to me.
Yeah, when you look at it, it's like a sort of art form, right? Like the idea of posing and what it actually is. It's like expressing yourself. So I think that's why many people feel inspired by it. So As your page has been growing, you've gotten some sponsorships and a couple brands you work with. Did you ever have expectations of that when you started?
I wouldn't say the word expectations. I would always want sponsors, but I never thought it got to a point where I didn't think that would be me. Even when I got my first like serious sponsorship, I didn't ever really think that like it didn't register in my brain what was like actually going on and like the opportunity I had in front of me.
For sure. So how does it feel to, I guess, be on a team like Controlled Insanity to you? What does it mean to you?
But to me, it's like brotherhood. It's camaraderie. I can't really say it properly. It's like a guild. Like honest to God, when we did the Arnold's and we all shared like an Airbnb. Just like every day waking up and like because I've already been mutuals with everyone in the team for like years, but like waking up and just like actually just being genuinely one-to-one conversations with all of the everyone on the team, it gives you a really warm feeling as to feeling wanted and being a part of something bigger than yourself or even just bigger than the two of you. And I feel like that's just something that I can't quite even put into words like how it really feels.
For sure. 100%. I like what you guys are doing over there. I think like the way it's grown and how it's inspiring people, it's more than just like a fitness brand, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. It's like a movement, if
Yes.
anything, to make fitness a lot more vulnerable and relatable.
That's what I think it is because like the way you guys like present the content and stuff is very much like what people are feeling and what why people started going to the gym in the first place because people that are outside of the gym or bodybuilding whatever the case may be, they might look at it as vain and stuff, but it's not. It's nothing like that at all. Like most people go to the gym and try to transform their physiques for like a deeper reason. It's something that affected them that became the catalyst to like their growth as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. So when it comes to your mentality going into the show this weekend, I guess what is like your goal? Your goals to win, I assume, obviously, and where do you go from there? Do you already like look at the next thing you're going for?
So my goal will always be to improve from the last time round. Just on a statistical like basis, I already know I've improved from the last time round. Like I'm heavier, leaner, and I know I look better. So, because I've won my class before, my goal is to win the overall this time round, and not only win the overall, but do it convincingly. So, like I want to be so confident in the fact that I have got this in the bag that there's no doubt in my mind or anyone in the crowd's mind. This is the most confident I've personally ever felt going into a show or even a string of shows because I have another show literally 2 weeks after this one. And then my last one is 4 weeks after the next one. And yeah, like this is the best I've ever felt in a prep or I think like I've felt in general when it comes to bodybuilding with myself. Like I'm very, very confident in it.
Yeah, for sure. And it's because I guess all the work you've put in that it like gives you that confidence because you know you wouldn't have that without it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because even like with my training, that's something I'm very confident and proud of. Is that I'm still making sure I'm progressing and holding numbers very well, which is something I didn't do last time around. I would be thinking to myself, I'd give myself the excuse to be like, "Oh, you're 2 weeks out. You should be getting weaker." Not this time around. I'm trying to still be at all time strengths.
For sure. 100%. So what have you been doing during your prep when you're not training? Like what do you do outside of bodybuilding?
I've been collecting Legos for a while, so I've been building up a Lego collection. Let me show you this, please. Building Legos and stuff.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Apart from that, I actually just been reading a bit as well. Something I picked up in my last prep. I read up. So in my first prep is when I started picking up reading more like to develop myself mentally. And the first book I picked up was Marcus Aurelius Meditations, and
I
then I
love that
started
book,
getting
bro.
great book. I started getting into like more stoicism with like Epictetus dialogues and discourses. But besides the point, with this prep, the first one I've bought to read was this book here called Existentialism and Humanism by Jean-Paul Sartre. And I feel like reading during prep, because in prep you can have a ton of time in your hands anyway, because you can be like mind-numbingly bored and hungry and whatever. So I feel like reading is a good way to get your mind off all of that first off, while also doing something that's constructive. And I feel like that book gives you a lot. to digest when it comes to purpose and direction in life, and the value and weighing up how much, not weighing up how much, letting other people decide how much value your purpose in life is. Like, it's essentially trying to get across the point that there is no, that there shouldn't be any like external hierarchy or order to what someone perceives their value, their purpose in life should be, besides the own personal intrinsic need to pursue that, if that makes sense. Like, what you decide you want to do in your life, what they decide they want to do in their life, equally as valuable, so long as it's a personal decision that's truly made by themselves.
I get what you're saying for sure, because like most people will tie their purpose into what their family or what their friends or what society tells them their purpose should be. And then that's when you end up, I guess, like becoming older and being miserable, right?
Yeah, yeah. I don't ever really want to wake up in like 40 years and think I've been pursuing what I should be doing in life, and then realize that there's been no passion there. There's been no like zeal to wake up and like attack the day.
For sure. And it's like what you have right now allows you to feel like that every single morning, to like wake up and get after it and have like a purpose bigger than yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure. So I've gone through all of my questions, Toyton. And for my last question, I ask this question to every single guest, and that is, how do you want to be remembered?
How would I like to be remembered?
It's kind of deep.
I'd like to be remembered first and foremost as like a family man, for sure. Someone that like raised a family and raised people around him that might not even only be genetically related to me, just people in general around me. And I'd also like to be remembered as kind, for sure. Kind and a family man. All I really care about.
For sure. So now that we're at the end of the podcast, is there anything you want to say? Any like final comments before I close it out?
Just keep doing what you find passion in, and it will all work out eventually. And if it doesn't, maybe that just wasn't the route that was meant for you.
For sure. Thanks once again, Toyton, for being on. If you guys tuned in this far, remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. Take care, everybody, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode.
See you.
Crush a cold to a diamond, eyes forever shining. Your beauty alone inspire a nigga to rhyme it.